Do you struggle with racking the slide of a pistol? If so, let me tell you a story that hopefully will change the way you think and the way you rack the slide of your gun. I used to work as a salesperson at a gun shop several years ago in the early 2000s. During that time, there were not that many women who work in a gun shop, and I kind of noticed that every time customers came, they were kind of surprised every time I reach out to them and ask them what they needed. The vast majority of people were super cool with me showing them guns. And not only that, but many of them were still friends because we meet at the gun range. I used to go to tactical shooting with them, and 20 years later, or almost 20 years later, we're still pretty good friends. As you can imagine, the other type of customers who were not that nice, it's not like they were not nice per se. It was very evident that they were not comfortable with me showing them guns. I don't get offended very easily anyways, so I didn't care. But there were times where I was the only one who could, take care of them or show them a gun or something like that. And for those occasions, I had a secret weapon, pun intended. Quick short stop. Let me just say thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and like this video because that will help me a lot. As you know, YouTube and a lot of social media platforms are hitting us hard, those of us who love freedom and the Second Amendment. So you're supporting my channel helps a lot. Also, I just want to say to check out Walther Arms and Primary Arms. They are my sponsors. Links are in the description of this video. And without them, I couldn't do what I do. I encourage you to check them out. They have an amazing line of products. Let's get back to the video. So there was a little pistol that it was very difficult to put the slide back. And so I quickly realized that to break the ice between those customers and me, I needed to kind of put myself out in a way that without saying words, they probably would say, she probably knows a little bit more than I thought she did. And so I became an expert on how racking the slide of this pistol. And quickly I realized, and that's what I'm talking about this, that racking the slide of the gun is more like knowing the amount of force that you have to apply with your arms to accomplish your goal, right? To put this lock the slide back or whatever. And the same way that you want to open a door, and at first you thought it was a lightweight door, and you go like this and you're like, oh my goodness, and then you have to put more force, right, to pull the door. At first it seemed like you couldn't do it. Your body readjusted, put the right amount of force, and you were able to open the door. No big deal. So the same thing I learned when it comes to racking the slide of a pistol. So I became so in tune with my arms, my hands, and everything that you would think that racking the slide of the pistol was so easy peasy. And so that was my weapon for those customers. And so they will come in when they realize that there's nobody else but me to take care of them. I will pick up this pistol to show them the gun and rack the slide effortlessly. They'll grab the gun, and after seeing me racking the slide so easily, they'll go and they do this. And it took them like 2 or 3 times to understand the amount of force that they needed to apply for this pistol. I knew at that point, their mind, even their eyes, everything changed. They were like, oh, okay, do you have any other gun that you can show me? I was like, sure. And then I will start my speech on the guns that I particularly liked, and the ones that obviously they wanted to see, and so on and so forth. So all of this is to tell you, for those of you who always say, oh, I need a gun with very light recoil spring, or I can rack the slide of the gun super easy, that you don't have to wait your whole life to find that specific type of firearm. And not to say that they don't exist, because Walther and many other manufacturers have develop these technologies to make the slides or to rack the slide a lot easier. But guess what? It's limited, the number of guns that you can do that. In other words, when you think about racking the slide of the gun, I want you to think about force. It's like you understand that the first time you grab it, and if you're in a gun shop about selecting a gun, and you grab the gun for the first time, and you say, oh, this is too hard. Of course it's gonna feel hard, because your body, your brain is not used to it. It's not adjusted to it. Having a pistol that you can rack the slide easily should not be the priority thing that you have to consider for buying or not buying a pistol. I would say yes, it is important, especially if you have carpal tunnel or some other conditions that you cannot change. I would say by all means. But the truth is that this is more common than not in regular people who has no problems with grip or strength. It's just their body is not adjusted to that amount of force, and they immediately say, oh, it's too hard. And yeah, ladies, I'm pretty much talking to y'all. So again, when you think about racking the slide, what I normally suggest is racking the slide several times. Slow and fast, and slow and fast, several times, letting your brain, your muscles adapt to the amount, and learn, more importantly, learn the amount of force that they need to apply to rack the slide efficiently. So I hope this story helped you to think differently and, explore all the different models out there that are for you, and go to the range with the gun that you want.